in the world. Oh, can I just say? Okay, look, we have never, ever, ever in our bashing of whether it be Barack Obama or anyone who's been, we've never given grief to Barack Obama for using a teleprompter. We've poked fun at when his teleprompter went out, and he had to rely on his own words, and he stammered and loses his mind. And
everybody uses a teleprompter.
Sure. So, I'm thinking. Now the left is making a huge deal, a big deal, over the fact that Sarah Palin wrote some words on her palm,
little notes
on her palm to remind her of answers or whatever, just things she wanted to talk about
at the Tea Party.
Yeah. And now she's been labeled as insincere, and she is a contradiction. That how could she blast Barack Obama for using a teleprompter when she had to write? Look. Who cares?
Yeah.
Is that really...
What else is new for those people?
I mean...
That's what they live for.
Oh, my God. The piranhas are just... Making such a big freaking deal over the fact that she wrote some words on... Who hasn't done that ever? Who hasn't had little reminders? So what?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if you never do that.
It just cracks me up. They just find the littlest, tiniest thing, and now I think it's funny as hell. She's rolling with it.
Yeah.
She was campaigning with Governor Rick Perry of Texas Sunday, and she wrote "Hi, Mom"
on her hand.
Yeah. So good for her.
Sure.
But I'm watching
the usual suspects come out.
Of course, it's the same people.
Whether it's here in the state or in the national.
And where do they go? Where do they go, the media, for their factoids? Where do they go for their experts on this? They go to these bloggers. They go to these dip S's. They got nothing better to do with their time. They find every possible reason to nip at the heels of Sarah Palin and Todd Palin and whatever.
Especially the people who are, butthurt.
Yes.
Politically.
Yes. And these are the same people who would write a blog about how asinine the Republican Party is, or anybody else that would say anything about Barack Obama using a teleprompter. These are the same people that say, "So what? Who cares?" So once again, it's just the same game played by different players, and they do it on both sides of the fence. I'm not condemning the left for making a big deal out of this. I'm just saying, knock it off. Who cares? So what? And if the
can't let it go.
And if the right side is going to blast the left side for making a big deal out of this, well, the next time it happens that a lefty does this, and it'll happen, just give it a couple of days, someone on the left will do something, and the Republicans will do the same thing. They'll neat.
Well, yeah, and the butthurt right.
Yes.
Who didn't like her because she wasn't one of them.
Right.
She wasn't the smartest person in the room.
And she never pretended to be.
No, but because she wasn't, and people actually gravitated towards her, that made them mad.
Absolutely.
Because they're saying, I'm smarter than her.
Well, sure.
I'm better than her.
Like me. How come you don't like me like you like her?
Yes.
You know what I mean? How could you guys appreciate her?
How could you vote for someone like that?
Do you know why? I'm going to give you a little hint. Because she's real.
Yeah.
She makes us feel comfortable with who she is. Yeah. Listen,
and you're not.
Barack Obama, he seems a little bit out there. He's a little more aloof. He seems a little bit too smart for my taste. I know he's the leader of the country. You don't want a dumbass. I got that. I get it. No.
They're smart, but then there's condescending.
Well, I'm talking about the appeal.
Yeah.
The groundswell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The reason why people are gravitating towards Sarah Palin, not so much to Barack Obama, because Sarah Palin seems like the kind of person you could have lunch with. You could sit down and chat with. Not just about politics, about anything. You could talk about the Super Bowl with Sarah Palin. I think Barack Obama needs he needs a personality overhaul.
He would overanalyze it with you. Well, he wouldn't just talk BS.
Here's what I believe. I believe Barack Obama might be one of the nicest guys in the world. He might be a very pleasant, funny, charismatic guy. He doesn't come across that way because of the words that he chooses and the way. You ever notice when he gives a speech, his head is always kind of cocked up a little bit, like he's looking down.
Mm-hmm.
He's always got that kind of I'm going to say something right now that's going to change the outcome of the world, and then wait for it. Here it comes. I've said it. It's like, really, dude? That's a turnoff. And I'm just talking about not politics. I'm not talking about policy. I'm not talking about what he actually says. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the reality of how he comes across versus how Sarah Palin comes across.
Right, because, I mean, when it comes to policy, he's good at it.
Yeah.
He understands
Sure, he's a very smart guy.
But the thing is, the American people, we don't want to be bludgeoned over the head with the minutia of policy.
Don't tell us how smart you are.
It happens in this state.
Yeah.
We get people telling us how smart they are.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, that don't work. It's proven.
It's called the Halcrow factor.
That's right.
It doesn't work for him.
No, hell no.
And Andrew Halcrow might be a really nice person. He might be a really funny guy. He proved it. Remember at his early on campaign ads, when people were stopping him anywhere to talk to him about stuff? Mm-hmm. Those were funny. Yeah. I think those did well for him, but he got too far away from it. And once again, he started to, he's the smartest guy in the room, and here's why, and you're an idiot, and I'm not.
And he might be, but he flaunts it in front of you.
Yes, and that makes people uncomfortable. That makes people think, God, what an ass.
What a douchebag.
Right.
I ain't going to vote for this idiot. And he's not an idiot, but we call him an idiot because he's a condescending douche.
Right, and he makes us feel uncomfortable.
That's right.
Sarah Palin makes people feel comfortable.
And I wouldn't want to send a guy like that to Washington, D.C.
And Sarah Palin makes people that don't like her incredibly uncomfortable because they just can't grasp it. And it drives them crazy. How can you like her? I just don't understand. And the more that they shout that from the mountaintops, the more it galvanizes the people that support her. The more her fans cling to her. I tell you, they just haven't figured it out. Somebody, I think, needs to tell Barack Obama, look, you need to learn something here. Maybe being folksy isn't your thing, but you're coming across as this elitist know-it-all. Mm-hmm. That you're going to change the world, and you're going to change it overnight. I don't know if we're ready for change overnight.
But if you stuck to the issues and didn't use that pomposity as something to make fun of people, and not even in a good way. If you use that acidic pen to poke fun just for the sake of being a dick,
right?
You ain't getting votes.
No.
There's no way.
And I think a lot of that is showing in his approval numbers.
Well, even look at him now. He's still doing it.
Of course.
He's still going on about Sarah Palin.
Right.
About the hand and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, go ahead. Keep doing that, but you better just run your rent-a-car business and do that.
You're talking about Halcrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
let go.
What the American public, the question they ask themselves is, how is this helping the nation? How is this creating a job? Mm-hmm. What are you really battling against here?
That's right.
Get the work done. Show me some results, man. We're at the point now where we don't care.
You know who that backfired on? In 1980, Jimmy Carter. He was vicious in his attacks on Reagan during that campaign. Vicious.
Yeah.
And people turned around and said, "You'll want to talk."
Yeah.
Oh, you're sitting up there in your throne telling us all how to be, and you're a weak-ass punk.
Here's what I ask people to do. And I know I've said this before, because we're coming up on an election cycle again.
Absolutely.
Governor's job.
Yeah, we got like the municipal election in April. Mm-hmm. And in November, we got the governor.
Right.
November, we got Don Young's seat.
Right, Congress is going up. Pay attention to the candidates that start throwing dirt first.
It's already happening in governor.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them.
And pay attention to the ones that are stepping away from the issues, okay? The things that actually matter. Education, jobs, the natural gas line, things that matter. Crime. And pay attention to the ones that are now turning their attention to petty insignificant things that don't have anything to do with making the state a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look here.
No.